Welcome everyone as we induct one of Australia's greatest ever coaches into the TTA Hall of Fame. The purpose of the Hall of Fame is to recognise outstanding contributions to the sport of table tennis. The eligibility requirements are deliberately strict with the intention of making it very difficult to be inducted. Only the very best over a long period of time will be recognised. The Hall of Fame selection panel and the TTA board were both unanimous in their endorsement of today's inductee. I'm very pleased to announce that today's inductee into the TTA Hall of Fame in the coaches category is Noel Shorter. Noel has been involved in table tennis since 1955. In that time, he has fulfilled many roles including player, coach, businessman, administrator, promoter, national selector, team manager and technical advisor. Noel was unanimously awarded TTA Life membership in 2019 for his significant and ongoing contribution to table tennis. In relation to coaching, as the first manager of the Summer Hill Table Tennis Centre in Sydney, Noel was involved in the establishment of a junior club which achieved membership of about 400. Whilst watching the juniors, Noel recognised that they required assistance in developing table tennis skills, which led to his interest in coaching. From this club for juniors, he was approached by a then 13-year-old youngster in 1964 named Paul Pinkovich, who wanted to win and be coached. This began a long association with Paul, who he coached for almost his entire career and which also led to a business association. Along with Paul, Noel coached other young players who went on to win Australian junior titles. One of these players was the great Gary Herbell. Noel was then approached by many players to receive coaching, including Steve Knapp, Bob Tuckett, Anne McMahon and Greg Thomas. As these players all lived interstate, Noel encouraged them to move to Sydney, where he established the Elite Training Group. For this group, Noel arranged specialist training in Japan under the guidance of former world champion and later ITTF president Ichiro Ogimura. Some of these players formed the basis of the team which ultimately reached number 12 in the world. In 1971, Noel was appointed coach and non-playing captain of the Australian men's teams playing in the Commonwealth Championships in Singapore and the World Championships in Nagoya, Japan. Following the World Championships in Nagoya, Noel, as coach, accompanied the team comprising Paul Pinkovich, Steve Knapp and Anne McMahon and the group leader, TTA President Dr. John Jackson, on the highly publicised Ping Pong Diplomacy Tour of China. This tour attracted enormous media publicity, which the game had never seen before. After these tours, Noel concentrated on privately coaching Paul Pinkovich, Dennis Mackling, Russell Laval, Gary Herbell, plus Jenna Raber before injury cut his career short as a junior. Noel's success and achievements as a coach were both significant and sustained. Players who Noel coached represented Australia at senior level between 1967 and 2006. Collectively at senior level, Noel's players won 56 international medals, 32 Oceania titles, 132 national titles and 15 Victor Barner Australian Senior Player of the Year awards. Multiple players who Noel coached went on to become icons of Australian table tennis, as evidenced by 4 players becoming TTA Hall of Fame members and 3 players becoming TTA Life members. Congratulations Noel on being inducted into the TTA Hall of Fame for coaches. You're a most worthy inductee.
Well, it means a lot, and I'd like to thank Scott Houston and the board of Table Tennis Australia for this honour. It's like a culmination of a very long career in table tennis, and I'm very proud of it. Well, the highlight was being a coach on the Ping Pong Diplomacy Tour to China in 1971, which we've been celebrating in the last 12 months. And, you know, the other highlights have been some of the very talented athletes that I've trained, you know. Well, firstly, I'd like to thank all the other coaches in particular that helped me. I learned a lot from other coaches in both in Australia and overseas. You know, and the players that have helped me a lot, because the coach is only as good as the players that he's got under his guidance.
He had an incredible impact on my life. I met him when he was manager of the table tennis centre at Summerhill, and I come in and I said, I like to play table tennis, and he helped me out, get on the table, and I listened to everything that he had to say, and he showed me, he actually asked me a question, would you like to beat all these players? And I said, oh yeah, I'll do anything I can to beat the players. And next minute he's got me chopping, because my hitting was, everyone was laughing when I hit. So he said, what can I do to help this enthusiastic young lad? And I started chopping, and Noel was a big influence on my career. I listened to everything he said. He obviously got a lot of advice from a lot of other people, but you know, we both made mistakes on the way to get there, but in the end there, we finally achieved everything that we really set out to do. I think Noel's example of discipline, teaching the players the actual have heart for the sport. You know, you've got to want to do it, and if you're prepared to listen to someone like Noel with the wisdom, and you know, and he's got everyone's respect. We learnt that respect from the top coaches overseas, and Noel certainly put it on us, and we weren't allowed to do anything out of the normal, had to dress up, set the right example. He was like a father in a way, teaching me to do the right thing. So he was very influential in my career, as well as a lot of other Australian champions that he's coached in the past. Oh, thank you very much for all the things. You know, I've got one thing I do remember vividly when I first started. He was teaching me how to concentrate, and he said, right, I've got a challenge for you to do. You've got to hit the ball 200 times over the net, and if you get that, you get an ice cream. I said, yeah, that's great. And we got to a stage where I got to 199, and I put the bloody ball in the net. And guess what? I wanted the ice cream, but I couldn't get it. So that was... Anyway, I was determined. I did it the next time we did a session, but things like that, when he set the goals, it's really up to the player to try to achieve those goals, and he was very influential as far as that, and amongst a lot of other people.